Bitcoin time. Hey, what is up, everybody? The Bitcoin Endgame is here. Big news today as a major economy, the fourth biggest economy in the world, apparently at this point, has legalized Bitcoin and cryptocurrency payments for international transactions. We're going to get into that story. We got Bitcoin news, we got Ethereum news, we got all kinds of altcoin news today. Very exciting things happening in the crypto markets. Stick around till the second half of the stream. We'll be answering your questions. It's a good time. Let's get it. So, first things first, Russia. Russia, regardless of how you may feel about Russia, some of you may have strong opinions. Russia, fourth biggest economy in the world, to legalize Bitcoin and crypto as a foreign currency for international payments. Now, what are Russia's big exports to the rest of the world? Curious. Oil and gas. Now, interesting that we see this happening so soon after the big announcements Trump made recently. And again, whether or not Trump gets elected, whether or not he implements on the things that he's promising to do if he does get elected, the reality is major presidential candidates, the current front runner, I think still, depending on polling you look at, can't really trust all the polls anyway, is talking about adding Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset for America. That's the shot heard around the financial world. All these other countries have been looking around going, what's our Bitcoin strategy? Are we buying Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset? And now Russia potentially, essentially bringing in the era of the petro Bitcoin. Imagine entire alternative economies that have been strangled off by Western sanctions. Again, fourth biggest economy in the world here, legalizing Bitcoin for international settlement of companies. And it's real. It hit a lot of regular companies inside of Russia getting cut off from SWIFT. One of my wife's best friends, she works at a wine company. They're importers and exporters of wine in Russia. And as soon as the sanctions landed, they started having a really hard time getting payments to and from customers. Became very difficult for them. They actually started using USDC kind of under the table-ish a bit. Daniel's saying Lark, Russia's the 8th largest economy. I've heard the 4th. It's surged up to the 4th recently. Perhaps it's the 8th. Maybe that information I have is incorrect. Maybe your information is outdated, Daniel. I don't know. But let's agree to say this. Russia, top 10 economy in the world. Okay, there you go. Potentially in the top 5. Depending on recent data and what numbers are looking at. I don't have the news on hand, but I swear I was reading a news article recently that Russia's scrambled its way up to the top 4 economies in the world, but I could be wrong on the information. Anyway, this is crazy, crazy stuff, guys, okay? Absolutely massive news. Absolutely massive news. So these are the shots heard around the financial world. You have to understand, because right now, this fella, Xi Jinping, is sitting there in Beijing going, oh, crap. The Americans are talking about adding Bitcoin as reserve asset. Putin's just made it legal for international payments. I guess China's got to do something, huh? Here we go. Jacob says, 4th based on purchasing power parity. Okay, there you go. There's a lot of different ways to measure it. So Kryptonite saying Google says Russia is the 8th largest. So yeah, I guess it depends on how you count. Maybe 8th largest by GDP, for example, 4th on purchasing power parity. So anyway, it's big. It's big. Let's put it that way. But hey, guys, this is crazy stuff. Again, this is the end game for Bitcoin. And I know we were talking about this a bit yesterday, but just it's mind blowing to see all this stuff happening so quick. It's really just that sometimes everything happens so fast. We go years and years with very little happening, and then bam, just one after another, massive news stories. And if, holy cow, there's already been a lot of rumors that China's thawing towards crypto. If we get any kind of announcements in the next 6 months that China is somehow back into the crypto game, they're still there. It's just they've really made it very restricted to get access to crypto in China. But if they open up, oh boy, things are real crazy out here in the crypto game. Okay. Bitcoin therapist, appreciate this meme. Only one thing to do, prepare for the greatest bull run of a life. Yes. Bitcoin, though. Bitcoin projected up here at 70K, currently consolidating. Another one of those patterns, much like we saw back here in May, June, where you have this run up, dip, second run up. Hopefully we don't get, of course, a decline this time. At some point, we have to break out of this damn range. We cannot range sideways forever, can we? There's that old saying, here that the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. But there's also the old saying that the market can remain boring longer than you can stay sane. Anyway, we'll see how things play out. So many massive catalysts coming right now for the market, including stuff like the Fed meeting, which is tomorrow. So we'll have some big updates from that. Everybody's going to be waiting around, holding their breath. What will Jerome Powell say? James Lavish saying, good morning. There are approximately $900 trillion of investment assets in the world. And at $67,000, Bitcoin is just 0.15% of that at just 1%. 1%. Keeping in mind, countries are talking about adding as a strategic reserve asset. Countries are talking about adopting it for major international payments, potentially for oil and gas. Countries are adopting Bitcoin ETFs left, right, and center. Japan now talking about Bitcoin ETF. Remember, we talked about that news a couple days ago. Big things are happening. At just 1%, of global investment assets, Bitcoin's $428,000 per coin. Doesn't sound that crazy, does it? Dig the bull vibes, James. I dig it. CryptoCon sharing a great chart here. I will take myself off the screen so you can see it. Is Bitcoin due for a new high in August? When you put aside the fact that March 2024 made new all-time highs 1 year earlier than usual, and just look at time, the halving cycles theory comes right back into view. Every major high we see in each year, orange, green, blue, or red, has a double that he calls an echo high. The echo high for blue years have come in January and February. March falls perfectly in the range. If that's true, it means we're due for a second early top, solid purple dot. August has been seen twice as a month for second early tops in 2012 and 2020, and that month is just around the corner. Interesting. Maybe we get our run up to 90K, for example. Just theories, right? We're talking about different stuff. We talk about different theories. You guys have to make your own decisions at the end of the day, obviously, because guess what? Investing in crypto is risky, as you very well know, and you can lose all your money. So we talk about different ideas, but at the end of the day, it's you in front of your computer clicking the buy and sell buttons. We talk about all kinds of different theories, some of which are going to prove to be right, some of which might prove to be wrong at the end of the day. By the way, if you want to ever read a risk statement, you'll find that description here on YouTube. Pin comment on X. You'll also find my portfolio disclosures over there if you want to know what coins old crypto lark has in his portfolio. This guy, fun story. I wanted to share that with you real quick. He says, I still hold all the Bitcoin I owned over the last 3 years. So this is Alex Crognali. He plays, well, I guess he's in the U.S. league. So it's soccer, man. Football for a lot of other people in the world, but he's a soccer player and he got paid in Bitcoin. And he said he's still holding all the Bitcoin that he's earned. And he's up over 100% in value. Think about that, dude. Doubled his salary. Nice. Saving in Bitcoin worked. Steve says, my wife asked me if I missed selling the top this morning. No, not yet, man. We still have some time to go. Still have some time to go. Hey, real quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is iTrust. If you would like to have a tax efficient way of doing the cryptocurrency market, you might want to check out the offerings that iTrust has available. This allows you to roll over your IRA, your 401k, whatever other retirement plan you might have, and then start investing in crypto under the umbrella of that retirement plan, thus enabling tax-free crypto trading. Trade as many times as you want with all the top coins. They got Avalanche, they got Bonk, Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, all the good stuff over here for you to play around with. And you can do all that with great tax advantages, which can make a massive difference to your end results in terms of how much coin you actually have left versus how much you might have to pass over to the tax man, right? So it's something that's interesting to look into for longer term investors looking for those more tax efficient ways to have a retirement account that allows for crypto. You can even do in-kind withdrawals. So if you want to take your coins out in the future, put them in your hardware wallet, you can do that. Physical gold and silver via the partnership with Kitco. Link down below in the description. Get a $100 bonus when starting your account. Check it out. Thanks again to iTrust for sponsoring today's stream. So the price of Ethereum still consolidating right here, man. Right here under the 100-day EMA. Come on. Come on, Bitcoin. Ah. Yeah. One of these days, we're going to break that. We cannot keep this up forever, okay? This was the sell-off back here for the Ethereum ETFs. As you can see, we came down, bounced off the 100-day EMA, which is a bullish move, bouncing there. Had we started closing daily candles under that, showing weakness, yeah, that could have been worrying. But the fact we bounced off the 200 EMA, nice. Now we're consolidating just under resistance. How much longer can we stay under here? Again, it's that pushing the ball underwater effect, at which point will Ethereum bounce back up. We're waiting, Ethereum. Grayscale outflows continuing. Here we got some more updated numbers here for you. A few very important things. Of course, we don't have the BlackRock numbers yet. BlackRock's always last one to come in for the day, but another $120 million day exit for Grayscale. Two very, very important things to note. And I'm an Ethereum investor, guys. We got an Ethereum long in right now because I expect personally very low leverage, okay, with not a gigantic amount of money, okay, but it's in there. I think that once we start seeing this slow down, which we're seeing right now. Look, day number one, $480 million. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of trading so far. And already the outflows have dropped by 75%. 75%. Matthew's saying blackjack, it must be BlackRock, $117 million. So if that's the case, what Matthew's saying there in the chat, if that's the case, then we are going to have a slightly positive day today, which would be the first positive day for Ethereum ETFs. We'll see. Have not independently verified those numbers, but if that is correct, then very, very interesting. Anyway, regardless, the most important thing is those Grayscale flows. They went from a tsunami of Ethereum hitting the market to by day 5 had already dropped by 50% in exit volume. Day 6, we're down 75% compared to day 1. What's tomorrow? Is another $100 million day? Is an $80 million day? The bleeding is already subsiding. And that could be the signal to Wall Street to come and jump into the water. What is this comment? Is Aerodrome dead? Get out of here. Get out of here. Aerodrome is far from dead. Aerodrome is a wildly bullish protocol. It's sharing gigantic amounts of money. We're going to save most of the questions till the end, guys. Okay, but I just saw that. I had to respond to it real quick. It's shared, $150 million in protocol revenue with people locking up the token. The liquidity pools are great. Oh, I know the token's down from its all-time high by like 50%. I get that, okay? But it is one of the most bullish assets, in my opinion, and as a bag holder on the Base network. Okay. So there you go. Now you guys are just baiting me. Is Jupiter dead? Get out of here. Get out of here with these bait questions. I see you guys. Yeah. Okay, so I want to share this. Samantha Duke saying, completely agree. Warren has great charts that show real deterioration in labor momentum, even if the unemployment rate is fine. For better or worse, this is driving policy force. Cuts will begin in September. If unemployment ticks up even another 0.1%, then the conversation will have to shift to a 50 basis point cut. That's in response to this. This week, expect Jerome Powell to focus on negative labor market momentum to justify a September cut. The percentage of industries growing jobs has fallen below 65%. The average recession begins with this number just above 60%. Okay. Doesn't always happen. Back here in the mid 80s, for example, you didn't get a recession when that dipped below that 60% line. It's the average, but there's going to be a lot of pressure here. I'll get my head off the screen so you guys can see it better. There's going to be a lot of pressure here. Okay. Victor Lark is my girlfriend leaving me. If you bought the wrong meme coin, maybe, man. No, I hope not. Obviously, not girlfriend advice here. Okay, guys. A married man. Hey, look, this is interesting. Right now, Jerome Powell he so has his back against the wall. Okay? Seriously. Inflation has come down massively, but now, unless he cuts soon enough, that near mirage perfect, like slim chance of nailing the soft landing starts fading real fast. Because if he doesn't cut rates and start cutting them hard, okay, then big trouble, because he's going to wreck the labor markets. He's going to wreck the general economy. He's going to wreck the housing markets and all this stuff. And already to an extent that's happened. He's massively cooled the economy. Jerome's got to cut sooner than later. And that could be, as long as there's not a recession, a positive bit of wind in the sails for the final melt up on the market. Sven here saying, anyway, you cut it or slice it, this is a bad trend. And if the Fed wants to wait until September for ego, credibility, or other reasons, it may well end up being too late, as others already pointed out. Is, of course, maybe not, but it's a gamble. Nevertheless, total non-farm jobs falling, of course, unemployment going up, jobs going down. Oh, Jerome, come on, man. All sitting around waiting for what Jerome Powell's going to say. Reminds me of that Simpsons meme where Grandpa Simpson's sitting around talking to the kids. And back in my day, we used to all sit around waiting for Jerome Powell to tell us what the money was going to do. Guys, again, hold those questions. We're almost through the big news here, and then we'll be diving into all your questions here in a few minutes, okay? Big news from the SEC as they admit defeat once again. SEC moving to amend complaint against Binance, seeking to no longer prove tokens such as Solana are securities. So it's like Solana, Cardano, Polygon, I think Cosmos is in there too, 5 or 6 other coins. So they know they can't prove it. They know they have no legs to stand on, especially now that they've approved Ethereum ETFs. I think that before the pressure came down to approve the Ethereum ETFs, they started going after consensus. They started making rumblings. They're going to start going after Ethereum. And somebody made the call, or they realized somebody actually came into the senses and realized we're going to get just our asses handed to us again. We need to stop this. And here's the deal. If Ethereum's not a security, Solana's not a security, Cardano's not a security, Avalanche's not a security, Polygon's not a security, and most of these other coins are not securities. Okay? Okay. Stuart here pointing out, Chief Legal Officer over at Ripple, he says, when a judge signals BS on the SEC's claim that 10 tokens on Binance are securities, the SEC says, never mind. Just forget about that. But these tokens are left out to dry in the Coinbase suit. But he says, this isn't how you regulate. And you're absolutely right. This is not how you regulate. This is the SEC's been a total shit show. And the sooner Gary from Goldman is fired and a new pro-crypto head is put at the SEC, the better it'll be for American investors, because he has not protected you. He has not fulfilled his mission. He's done everything not to protect you and to screw you over as a regular investor. Anyway, I would expect that now that it's been dropped from the Binance suit, that the Coinbase suit's probably already putting the paperwork together to say, hey, that judge dropped it for them, you drop it for us. And then what more does the SEC have to stand on? What legs do they have to stand on for the Coinbase suit? Nothing. So it means Coinbase is going to win their lawsuit. And Binance will win this particular suit as well. And so then what? Then what? The question legally by the courts has been somewhat resolved. Ripple's going to win their case or have a very positive settlement for their case. And then we have much more regulatory clarity than we used to have. Still be nice to see some actual legislation passed, of course, but still nice direction that we're heading in. Base meme coins to watch. by Coinbeats here, saying base network remains the Ethereum's fastest growing layer 2 network. At the beginning of the year, the base network total value locked was 450 million. It rose to 1.7 billion in just 6 months. Not only did Base experience growth in DeFi activity alone, but meme coins on Base also felt the effects of a thriving ecosystem. There's even a meme coin season on Base Network recently. I think Base is going to get a lot more attention for meme coins personally. That's why I'm sharing this with you. I know it's been all about Solana and smoking chicken fish recently, okay, guys? However, I think Base memes have a great potential. One of my biggest holdings is Brett, which is a Base meme. What's interesting is Brett represents 80% of the total market cap of memes on Base right now. Is my Coinbase wallet the Base network? Asks Yatox8. No, it is not. Your Coinbase wallet can access the Base network, or it should be able to, but it is not the Base network. It is a multi-chain wallet that allows you to store all kinds of different assets, but you should be able to access the Base network through your Coinbase wallet. I don't use the Coinbase wallet. Okay, we've done a tutorial on the new Coinbase smart wallet. If you want to go check that out on the channel, but I don't use the Coinbase wallet on a regular basis. I use other wallets personally. Anyway, interesting to see how many interesting memes there are. Of course, Brett is the big boy. We've talked about some of these other before. Toshi, one of the other cat memes, down pretty bad, but a lot of the memes are currently. Mr. Miggles, down to 31 million currently. Could be interesting to look at as a potential buy. We did some research on that, and let's say it passed the sniff test. Benji, I've got this one, also a marketing ambassador with Benji. So very excited about Benji bags, of course. Think they have great potential. $30 million market cap currently, has the potential to go to like $1 billion, right? So there's some real opportunity, I think, in Base memes right now if you are a meme coin token culture connoisseur kind of person. Obviously, massive risk of meme coins, and these things can go to zero like that. So keep that in mind. Always adjust accordingly to risk, okay? Here's a very interesting one for everybody. Is Polkadot dead? No, Polkadot's not dead. And this is actually a super interesting bit of data here. So C Saint 02 saying we now have real data to back the claim that Polkadot is one of the only blockchains that can truly scale. 3 million transactions more per day, just like that. Crazy. Welcome to Play Mythical's suite of games. Play Blancos, play NFL Rivals, and soon Pudgy Penguins. Look at this. Look at this chart. This is absolutely nuts. This is, wow, look at that. 3.3 million transactions from Mythos in one day on July 28th. Crazy. Now, can we keep that up? Can we keep it moving? Let us see. Let us see. But this is pretty damn awesome, to be honest. So all it takes is one catalyst, man, and Polkadot can be getting a lot of attention. Okay, is this going to be that catalyst? We'll see. 2.0 is coming, Jam's coming, a lot of big things coming for Polkadot. This is pretty big news for my AVAX bags. By the way, I own AVAX. Big news for my AVAX bags. As Chris is here. Whoa, the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles in America, getting on chain. AVAX just announced that the California Department of Motor Vehicles is launching its own chain on Avalanche, and that it will be digitizing 42 million car titles on chain. Yeah, Avalanche, let's go. That's awesome. Awesome news. Luigi here is saying, for most of us who were here in the 2017 cycle, these were all use cases that we just imagined in response to the DMV news. I hear on a daily basis, but Luigi, the space is not making progress. There's too many meme coins. Well, here is an in-production valid use case for blockchain technology that can improve people's lives, reduce inefficiencies, and reduce frauds. And that's built on Avalanche. Come on, that's big news, man. Avalanche as well. Getting rid of the subnet branding and saying just layer ones, Avalanche layer ones. The Avalanche is now this base layer for all these layer one networks. I feel like I'm gonna buy some more AVAX. Maybe swap one of my other bags for more AVAX. I don't know. We'll see. Smoking chicken fish updates. I own some smoking chicken fish a little bit, but I bought a little more today just before the stream. I thought, screw man, let's buy some more smoking chicken fish. This meme's hilarious. So, you actually have to have fun with memes. I see a lot of memes out there that are just categorically not funny, don't have good communities, aren't that interesting, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, will smoking chicken fish go to the moon? No broth. It's going to go to Mars. The smoking chicken fish, man. Nice smooth marbles. No, don't smoke, kids. All right, seriously. Hey, real quick, guys. If you're a cryptocurrency trader, link down below for Bybit. You can get a $500 USDT free position. That's for like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Pepe, about 10 different options of altcoins that you can choose for that. As well, they're doing a 100K prize giveaway. You get 3 free spins when you use that link in the description. That'll get you in for stuff like a funded trading account, tickets to the F1 races, all that kind of stuff. So check it out. Link in the description if you are a cryptocurrency trader, that is. Now, we got it. Whew. Always about 20, 25 minutes for the news, isn't it? I'm pretty consistent with that. Let's hydrate. AVAX Dead Coin says, hello, world. I do not agree. And their traction, their use cases, their growing partnerships, and all that stuff would disagree with that sentiment. Got the good stuff today, guys. Got the good stuff. We're going hard. Chainlink or ICP, says Preston. Well, Preston, I can tell you what I have personally chosen. No shade on ICP. I don't know enough about ICP to have a very informed decision on it, position on it, okay? Still on the list of things to do. We're going to get around to looking at one of these days, make a review video for you guys. We've been doing other stuff. But anyway, I have a big bag of Chainlink, top 5, top 6, top 7, something like that, total position holding. So I think it's going to do very well. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about my Chainlink bags. $140, man. It's going to be great. Fingers crossed. Come on. The market can't stay all memes all the time forever. I mean, we can definitely have the meme coin circus on the side, but at some point, the market's got to start valuing fundamental technology a bit more than it currently has. Nibiru status. Nibiru is a very early stage, high risk, high reward bet. And I've got a big bag of it. Okay, I was a private sale investor, got the bag, ended up being way crazier valuation than I expected. Took my initials out, a tiny bit of profits on it, and kept 95% or whatever of my bag, and have been staking, claiming rewards, restaking ever since. Very, very early stage right now for Nibiru. So if you're taking a position in that, understand that its success is far from guaranteed. But if it does succeed, even to a decent extent, that there's great upside potential for it as well. That's what I'm hoping for. That's why I'm holding my bags currently. I think it does have that potential for good upside. We've seen a bunch of hackathons and stuff like that. And we're seeing the builders start to come. So let's see what they can catalyze. Let's see what they can bring to the table when they start getting a lot of projects starting to build there. And then we start getting users on board and exciting things start happening beyond just speculating on what the future could hold for it. Fingers crossed for my bags, of course. Okay. Tony's saying, Lark Sam from Crypto Lifer was saying good things about you and giving good vibes. That's awesome. Shout out to Sam. I was mentioning how you're one of the ones who pulled me into crypto. Did you meet him at a Bitcoin convention? I'm not sure that I've met Sam, but shout out Sam. If you're at Token 2049, come say hi. Do you know anything about Husky Inu? No, I've never heard of that. Have you heard of Fluence? I guess I have now, first time. Cody dropping off the SEC list, and also rumor for Israel CBDC. Have you heard anything else on that? I have not heard on anything on that. That's interesting, though. I know Israel's been screwing around with CBDCs for a while, initially launching a CBDC pilot project on Ethereum back in 2020, maybe a few years back. But yeah, have not paid up to date very much with what Cody's been doing, but I know that they've been doing a lot of stuff, and we've what was that? They're garbled circuits. We did a paper. I read a paper on that, or did we cover it? I cannot remember, but some interesting stuff out there. I read some information about the garbled circuits. Like, oh, that's pretty interesting stuff. Some cool tech they're developing over there. So shout out to the Cody guys for doing that. Lark, do you have to love birds to live in New Zealand? It helps. We have some great birds here. We really do. Lava Network airdropping 55 million tokens. Did you see that, Lark? I did see that. Lava Network going to be pretty cool. Custom PC networks and stuff. pretty good. More decentralization of crypto infrastructure is a positive thing. Modular RPC networks or whatever. So cool. Yeah, great. Shout out to Lava Network. They're doing good tech, right? Good tech. AVAX is like buying Microsoft stock back in the 80s. They're going to be the Xbox of crypto. Ooh, that's the bullish kind of sentiment I'm here for. Let's go. Viv says, what coins are you going to hold for the bear market? I'm probably selling everything other than Bitcoin and some ETH. About the same, Viv. I am not going to hold any of the altcoins. I've even decided I'm going to sell all my Ethereum, right? And I'm already starting to think, what's my buying list going to be for the next bear market? I'll probably put 95% of my money in, let's say, safer bet stuff. I'll rebuy Ethereum. I'll buy a nice Solana bag this time, Lark. Come on, Lark. Buy a Solana bag this time. I'll probably buy some AVAX again. I'll probably buy, I don't know, 3 or 4 other coins, probably about 10 coins max, and then save a little bit of money on the side just for screwing around, trading, buying stuff like smoking chicken fish, not necessarily in the bear market. I'm not sure what the future for smoking chicken fish is going to be, guys, but meme coins, high risk. Keep that in mind. But, there'll be things to speculate on. I like speculating. I like playing around, screwing around in the market, even buying smoking chicken fish. Guys, that's funny meme, okay? But I don't know. I'm just kind of bored waiting for Bitcoin to do something. So I need to feel something again. I'm going to go buy some smoking chicken fish, man. That's kind of why I did it. Anyway. Still positive on Linea. Yes, I think it still has a great situation in terms of a potential for a good airdrop. But I have kind of fallen off the wagon in terms of I'm just not actively farming Linea anymore. I did active farming on Linea for months and months on end. Will that have been enough? I guess we'll find out. There's been all these tasks that keep coming up. I'm just tired with it, man. I'm like, I don't want to do any more tasks. It's just, I don't know. I need to get back. I need to go do some damn tasks for Linea. But I'm bullish on Linea. I think the Linea blockchain has a great potential to be one of or layer 2 network has a very good potential to be one of those big breakout successes, considering who's backing it and what's going on over there. But right now, it's not getting a lot of hype, but the airdrop, when it comes, if it's good, could create a bit of jazz around it. So, yeah, still positive on Linea. Let's catch up in the chat here. Did you see the professor lab token? They're doing experiments and tracking. That must be some kind of decentralized science stuff. I have not seen that. Man, there's too many narratives to keep up to date with, to be honest. I bought altcoins in the bear market and they all ended up rebranded. That happens sometimes. Link, the safest investment in crypto. Sometimes I feel like it's definitely one of those safer bets. It's such important infrastructure for the crypto market. Is wild. And I saw this last week and I was going to share with you guys. And I don't know, I lost the tweet or whatever. But there was this lady who was the, who is she? She's chief financial officer or something over at Chainlink. I can't remember her exact position, but she was saying, yeah, we're done with pilots next quarter or early next year. It's no longer pilots anymore. It's real in production stuff with some of the biggest institutions in the world using Chainlink tech. Oh, that's bullish. That's how we get to $140, guys. So fantastic. Yeah, Link, big fan. Glad I got a big bag secured at $7. Starting to think that, are you talking about real world assets, RWA? Starting to think real world assets may not be as big this bull run as everyone thinks. As I've said with real world assets, great potential as a use case, but I feel like probably next bull runs when it's going to be like absolutely crazy. This bull run, we're going to see probably even tens of billions potentially come on chain, which is massive. But next cycle's probably when we have like $1 trillion of assets come on chain, which just game-changing stuff. What a wild market to be in. What a crazy time to be here. This market is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, once-in-a-generation opportunity. It's absolutely insane to think about It's an entire new asset class, and we're still relatively early. And now, okay, we're getting all these new catalysts, we're getting ETF products and stuff like that. And by the end of the cycle, we're going to say, well, there's nothing that could possibly happen next cycle that's going to take us to the next step. Yeah, that's real world assets. That's the tokenization of the stock markets. That's BlackRock tokenizing everything on chain. That's global FOMO by central banks to accumulate Bitcoin, et cetera, et cetera. All these sparks turn into raging infernos eventually. It's very exciting. Very exciting place to be hanging out, guys. Crypto Kiwi, what's up? When moon? Soon, I hope. We're waiting. We're just ranging sideways, man. Ranging sideways. If you had to pick one Trump coin, what would it be? I have absolutely no idea. But hey, funny story. When I was visiting my dad recently, my nephew was hanging out with us, and I got him set up on a Coinbase wallet. And I gave him some Dogecoin. I gave him some Ethereum. I set him up on, I think, the Base network. And of course, what did he start doing? Instantly buy it. Like, I come back 5 minutes later, and he's like, I've already bought like 5 meme coins. I'm just like, what do you do? Like, what do you bought? Like, like 3 Trump meme coins and like, I don't know, a dog or something like that. I'm just like, classic. I love it. I love to see it. New dude gets into crypto. I buy some Trump coins, man. I have no idea what Trump coin's like a good one. I couldn't even get a ticker. I know I've seen some tickers, but I don't know anything about any of them. And those political meme coins are, as we've seen with Bowden, potentially very, very risky. Or really, it becomes a proxy for, will this candidate do well or not? But hey, yeah, it's interesting anyway. Do you have penguins in New Zealand? Yes, we do. Can I get a decent bag of smoking chicken fish for a goat and 50 shekels? Do you play Hamster Combat? No, I don't play Hamster Combat, but I think I'm not sure if we're going to get around to making a video on it or not, but just to talk about the sort of phenomenon that it has been with these Telegram mini games, literally bringing hundreds of millions of new users into crypto. And I feel like the story hasn't got that much coverage, but it's been massive. New Zealand beat Canada in women's rugby for a gold medal. Go Team New Zealand. Nice. Neo says, in that chart that you mentioned before, the top in August, are they insinuating that there won't be a secondary top during? No. He's just saying we're gonna get sort of our next top from what I'm reading from him. So still, we were reading another chart from the CryptoCon guy talking about sort of that potential for an early cycle top as well, maybe in like March or April. We've seen a lot of different analysis saying perhaps March or April next year is when we get our final market top. We'll see. Nothing's definitive in markets, but it is an interesting theory and would kind of line up with how we saw 21 play out, but potentially without that second mega rally. What are you more bullish on out of Jupiter and Aerodrome, says Nico? I don't know. I've got about equal size bags of both. I'm not sure which one I'm more bullish on. Gun to my head, I don't know. Maybe Jupiter. Yeah, maybe Jupiter. But I like them both. I think they both have great potential as major beta plays for those chains. Hair's looking good. Thanks, Z. Appreciate it. Lark, never heard your name before I joined the Can Do Chads. What up, Can Do people? How you feeling about that Miggles bag? So we have a very, very small Miggles position for our challenge portfolio. Currently down 50%. Although I'm looking at it now, I'm thinking, should I just buy some from a main portfolio too? See what happens here. Like, it's, cat coins, cats, it's just gonna be one of those things. I trust my gut on cats, but the flip side is I kind of like money. So maybe Miggles is not going to go on to be a multi-billion-dollar market cap cat, but maybe it goes up 3-5x. That's enough. I don't know. It's a thought that I've had. Dot is dead AF. The news story we covered about 10 minutes ago would prove that it is definitively not dead AF. Cats suck. I concur. Dogs for the win, guys. Come on. Lark, what's the percentage of people that will fail this bull cycle? 90%. 1 in 10 probably are going to walk away with some pretty good money. 1 in 10 probably not going to fail, but like just not really do very well. They'll get chopped up. They'll end the market without very much money. And most people are going to do one of two things. Whether this is 8 and 10 people or 9 and 10 people, most people are going to do, and I hope not you guys, I hope you people listening, you listening right now, I hope that you're going to be that 1 in 10 who walks away with a bunch of money. But what are the majority of people going to do? Two things. One, there are people who actually got in early. They're here now. They've been here for a year. They're active. They're investing. They're doing everything they're supposed to do. They're going to sit here. They're going to watch Bitcoin go to 200K. They're going to watch Ethereum go to 15K. They're going to watch Solana go to 1,000 or more. And then they're going to convince themselves, man, I'm a genius. Bitcoin's going to 500K this cycle. Everyone else is wrong because, I'm seeing these guys on Twitter or whatever. They're saying Bitcoin's going to 500K this cycle, blah, 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 blah. And you don't sell anything. And you round trip your bags and you start getting in a state of denial and you start getting psychologically attached to your high watermark portfolio value. And it's not coming back. I'm sorry, but it's not coming back. When the bear market starts, things just start going down and a huge amount of people are just going to round trip those bags. So that's for people who are here now. Word to the wise, word of warning, whatever you want to say. That's for people who are here now. A lot of people are going to let the greed get the best of them near the top. They're going to round trip their bags. They're not already thinking about selling. They're not trying to put systems in place to make themselves sell, to hold themselves accountable, right? And the other person who's in that 8, 10, 9, 10 category, they're the exit liquidity for everybody listening right now. They're the people who are going to come in and buy the top. It's a brutal game, and I don't make the rules of the game. You can hate the game, but don't hate the player of the game, man. It's just how it works, and you're playing that game too. And you will also require these people to come in and to buy the top on a lot of these coins, right? For every top buyer, there needs to be a top seller. Just the way it works. Just the way it works, man. A lot of people, and this, you can look at all the metrics of all previous cycles. Most people will only come in at the absolute top of the market, right? Bitcoin tops out at 200K, Pi cycle top indicator flashes. And then what happens? Coinbase app surges to number 1. Then what happens? Over the next 2 weeks, all those new accounts, they go and ape into everything, all the altcoins, because Bitcoin's too late. Now it's time to buy altcoins. That happens for a few weeks until they run out of money, and then the bear market comes. So most people are going to fail. But if you're here now, probably your biggest danger is failing to sell and take profits. You've probably bought enough at a good enough time that you're going to be okay, in my opinion. So there's that to think about. Okay. Jay says, I round tripped last time, cashing out this time. It's the way. It's the way. No more round tripping for me, Lark. That journey sucked. Amen to that, Jerry. It takes a cycle to figure out not to screw it up, right? And now you've been here. You're the smart money now. And the people coming in over the next 6 to 12 months, they're the ones who are probably going to be in a lot of trouble. And some people now who maybe start entering in 23 or 24, I hope you don't have to learn that lesson the hard way. Take it from people who have been there and watch those bags get round tripped. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. I plan to round trip my Bitcoin. Yeah. Yep. You can do that. You can do that. You can round trip some of your bags if you want to, but you have to understand the implications of that. And I'm planning on round tripping a lot of my Bitcoin, but it's not so much round tripping per se as just, watching the volatility play out over the years. But a lot of these altcoins are not going to survive or not get back to those highs that they're at the end of this cycle. Didn't you say the lifetime opportunity? Yeah, absolutely. And this is always something that thanks for bringing that comment up, because I see so much confusion, and maybe I'm not speaking clearly enough or whatever it might be, but people tend to confuse where there's different time frames on things. Essentially, I might say, hey, this big buy signal just flashed, everything's really bullish, and then I'll see comments, but crypto's crashing right now, and look, oh, Bitcoin's down like 5%. Yeah, Bitcoin's down 5%. What's new? We're not talking about what's happening this hour or today. We're talking about the bigger picture here, for example. And saying, yeah, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, 100%. And yet the market moves in cycles. Okay. So you have to understand that. And if you don't want to understand that, or if you don't want to accept that reality, you're very, very welcome to round trip your bags. You're very, very welcome to buy the top so others can sell the top, whatever it might be. Your prerogative. The reality of this market is it is insanely bullish. Okay. It's crazy bullish. It's insanely volatile. It's insanely bullish, but it's also insanely volatile, right? You are going to see massive drawdowns in your coins, and the crypto asset class is going nowhere. We literally just made a video laying out the case for a potential $100 trillion market cap for crypto. Go watch it. It's on the channel by 2032. Maybe we don't get to 100 trillion. Maybe we'll get to 50 trillion. We're at 2 trillion right now. So 25x potentially, even if we get halfway to the target. Even if we only get a quarter of the way to the target, 25 trillion, still a 10x for the entire cryptocurrency market cap. That's Bitcoin to $600,000 by then. But to go from here, $60,000 to $600,000, Bitcoin's got to go through 2 more bear markets. Probably, if we assume 4-year cycles continue. And the entire cryptocurrency market has to go through 2 more bear markets. And the vast majority of those altcoins that you hold are not going to make it to 2032. Oh, Bitcoin is, Ethereum is, Solana, Avalanche probably going to make it as well. Chainlink's probably going to make it, a few other top coins. But come on, guys. Come on, be real with yourselves. You guys know that a lot of the coins you're holding are total dog shit, and they're not going to make it to 2032. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And if you don't cash out some money when the market cycle starts peaking out and you're sitting on massive paper gains that you've not realized, I will tell you this. I will tell you this with absolute certainty. If you don't take profits when that happens, I guarantee that a year later, you will be kicking yourself, telling yourself that you're an idiot. You'll be depressed. You'll be looking at it. I had millions of dollars and I now have a portfolio worth tens of thousands of dollars. You don't think it can happen to you? You don't think it's going to happen to your special coins? I'm sorry to tell you, but it probably is. This is one of the most bullish asset classes on the planet, but it's a new asset class. And with that newness becomes extreme volatility and very brutal cycles. And that downside volatility is the price that you pay for the upside volatility. And the sooner you can become in tune with that and figure out this is just how it works. You can't fight the cycles, all right? You're just one small investor in the great sea of money dictated by central banks and risk on, risk off attitudes of giant multi-trillion dollar organizations. Okay, we're just small fish out here. But just because we're small fish doesn't mean we need to get screwed over. Okay. You can still make a lot of money in these markets, but you have to respect the fact that these markets do move in cycles. And I'm massively bullish on the cryptocurrency markets. Incredible technology, huge potential for all kinds of crazy stuff we talk about here all the time on the channel. But the cycles are still the cycles. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. Been a great chat. I appreciate you, and I'll see you back for the next one. Peace.